Yeah, good question. I felt at half time we were in the game. I thought 160 was probably about par score. All the information we had on the wicket and from the players that were on the pitch, they came off and they were pretty confident that we were in a place that we could chase that score down. It's a pretty poor batting performance, and we'll hold our hands up for that. So yeah, I haven't obviously talked to the players since we've come off, but yeah, it was we weren't as good as we wanted to be, and we felt like we were in the game at half time.
Do you feel like there's a bit of a problem with lessons not being learned? I mean, poor shot selection's been a little bit of an issue, or theories of fielding, still a little bit improvement needed there.
Yeah.
Do you think sort of messages aren't getting through? Or?
I'm not sure. There isn't a lot of time between games to go away and think and work about games. So we obviously have pretty honest conversations behind closed doors. The players are really honest with how they're going. I've got a really good group of coaches who are working incredibly hard with the players, and the players work when we get the opportunity around games to work. They work incredibly hard on their game. I think that probably one of the things that's stood out for me across this tour is actually we've practiced really, really well, but we haven't played very well. So the bit that we're missing is the bit when we cross the line as to how we go and perform. If we we're doing a lot of really good stuff in practice, which is, I think, for the players and the coaching staff, is really frustrating because we feel like we're in a good position. We've got some really good players, and we haven't been able to transfer that onto the field, which is a great shame because I think this is a great opportunity for us to show what a good cricket team we are, and we haven't been able to do that.
Do you feel like that 8-8 draw in England last Ashes series perhaps gave the England team a little bit too much confidence?
No. I don't think that. I think it may have raised expectation outside of the group. I definitely don't think it gave us too much confidence. I think it gave us some confidence. We were incredibly aware of how strong Australia are in this part of the world and everywhere else in the world. They're a really good cricket team. We're really aware of that. We knew that when we came in. We knew this was going to be a really hard-fought competition, but also a really hard competition for us to come out on top in. So we were really aware of that. What I would say is I think our performance in England last time probably stimulated the Australians into making some decisions about how they wanted to play, and they've come out and they've showed some changes, some differences in how they approached their cricket. And they've been really impressive. They've played better cricket than us, and we're in this position for a reason.
Different format, different conditions. How do you get morale back up, and how do you, rally the troops?
We've got a really resilient group of players who are really excited about the opportunity to play Test cricket under lights at the MCG. It's an occasion that I think in women's cricket hasn't happened before, and I don't feel like we'll need to work hard with the players to get them in a space where they want to go and attack that game. It's every time we play Test cricket, which is very rare, the players are incredibly excited about playing it, and they'll know that this is going to be a really tough challenge. They knew that before. Like I said, before we got on the plane, we spoke about it in South Africa, and we spoke about it for quite a long period of time, and they'll be excited about what will come around whenever it is Thursday morning. I forget what day it is at the minute. So Thursday morning. So when they wake up Thursday morning and they understand there's a Test match in front of them, they'll be incredibly excited. And then we will work incredibly hard. This is a really hard working cricket team to get ourselves in a place where we're able to perform to our best. And that's something that the players will be really determined to do. I'm sure of that. Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday, didn't we, Raf? Like today, clearly not. I think we've been really outplayed today, and which is a shame because actually, like I said at half time, I thought we were in a position to actually go and attack that score and get a win. So we've been outplayed today, but in other games that we spoke about yesterday. I feel like there's been moments in those games where if we'd pushed home our advantage at certain points in the game, that we could have come away with some points. There's in probably the first 3 or 4 games actually. So In fact, the first 5 games, I think we've been at times in positions to take some points, but I feel like the critical moments in the games, the Australians have used their experience and the understanding of the conditions to play in a way that's been able to get them across the line. And you have to take hat off to them. They're an incredibly consistent cricket team for a long period of time, and they understand how to win. And we disrupted them a little bit over in England last time out, and we came here with confidence that we could do the same here. But they haven't let us do it through their skill and through their discipline and the way that they've repetitively executed their skills. They've been really excellent across the board, to be honest. Mm.
So much about being really fit, wasn't it? Is she fitter than your guys?
I don't see Beth Mooney's fitness test results, so I have no idea whether she's fit enough player. As I say, she looks a really determined athlete. She keeps putting performances in, so you probably say that she's in her mind. She's really fit because she's able to keep consistently coming back and repeatedly putting performances. It was interesting in today because she played quite differently. After getting stumped by bowling down the leg side, she didn't come down the wicket as much as she had done previously, so she'd learnt her lessons pretty quickly from previously. We felt like we'd taken got her out in a way that was, we were quite smart about how we did that. We planned that and was quite smart about that, and then she changed the way she played, and I think that shows the experience that she has and the ability to turn around really quickly and make a plan for the next innings and go and do that. She's been incredibly impressive.
Can I ask about Lindsay Smith as well?
Yeah.
She's been left on the sidelines until now.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in and watching her bowl like that, so impressive. It seems a bit odd to have her sitting on the sidelines for
Yeah, I think Sarah Glenn's been a fantastic performer for us over a long period of time. Her numbers are exemplary, as are Sophie Ecclestone's, as are Charlie Dean's. When you win a lot of cricket matches as a cricket team, generally your selections stay really reasonably consistent. The Australians have shown that over quite a long period of time. Lindsay's been an outstanding performer at domestic level and franchise level for especially in the power play. I think she's excellent the way she bowls in the power play. She's quite tricky to combat in that space. And Sarah hadn't performed as well over the first 2 games as we would have liked in terms of outcome, because she was unfortunate at times in terms of some drop catches and some misfields off her bowling, but in terms of what she was actually producing, in terms of where she was landing the ball, was quite different to what she's shown over quite a long period of time for us. So I and Heather and Jonathan Finch decided that it was the right time to make a change, and like you say, Lindsay bowled really well today. She's taken an opportunity, and fair play to her for that.
Charlie Dean has been a bit of discomfort at the end of the innings.
Yeah, I think she's okay, mate. Yeah, I think she just had a bit of stomach issue.
How's Lauren Bell doing?
Lauren Bell's had a migraine for 2 days, so yeah, she's been under the weather. She came to the ground. She's a wonderful teammate for her teammates, but she's had a migraine for a couple of days, and so she's been under the weather. So we hope that clears up. So she obviously saw her go off the field in wherever we were, Canberra, the other day, and that came on there, and she hasn't been able to really get out of bed for the last couple of days. So, but she was here for supporting her teammates, but I sent her home. So hopefully she can rest up and come good by Thursday.
A lot of the focus has been on the negatives and all the negatives, but what's the positives you will take out of this game?
This game?
Yeah.
Well, I felt we bowled better tonight. Our spin bowlers in particular, I thought bowled fantastically well. We were at times, and this has been the same across the whole competition, we've been a little bit sloppy with the ball, I feel, in terms of our execution of lines and lengths, and I think that's, for me, been the biggest difference in the 2 teams about how the Australians have executed with the ball and their consistency and accuracy. But I always go back to, and I've say this before we got here, is that we've got a really young bowling attack. They were really inexperienced, especially inexperienced have been playing over here, and this will be a great learning curve for them. They're a young group, and there's some exciting high potential cricketers in there, and we've got some really exciting high potential cricketers just sitting outside of this group, but they're sort of 18, 19, 20 years old, and it's like I'm sure all you guys will know that it takes a long time to develop young cricketers and young fast bowlers in particular. It takes a long time for them to, especially in the women's game where they don't bowl a high volume of balls like they do in the men's game, for multiple reasons, which I can talk to you about for hours if you like. It's really tricky to develop players fast, and most of their development is being done on the international stage, which again is a really tricky thing for them to do. So Lauren Bell, for example, we got quite a lot of criticism over the course of the summer in the UK about how we were trying to change Lauren Bell and get her to bowl, to be able to manipulate the ball into different spaces with different types of movement. But she's shown over the course of this tour that she can now swing the ball out, she can move the ball in, she's got a wobble seam ball that have worked at times in these conditions here. So that was the whole point of trying to do that. She's a 23, 24-year-old fast bowler who's played not a lot of cricket, and she will be a really good cricketer over a period of time. But at the moment we're developing those players through what we feel is the right way to make them England greats, rather than players that can do certain things that might not help them be great cricketers.
And just the test of it now, finally, obviously it's quite big in itself, you already mentioned, but is there anything in particular you think that the team should focus on or will focus on?
Again, consistency of execution with the ball. If we can do that over a longer period of time, I think that is something that we'll work hard on. And then understanding the change of tempo of cricket. And I think that's really important. We always want to play aggressive cricket. We want to play cricket on the front foot. We want to play winning. We want to try and win games of cricket. And so understanding the right tempo to play out with the bat and how to combat what's being put up in front of us, I think will be really important. And it's something that the players, because they don't have a lot of experience of doing it, there's sometimes the ebbs and flows of a cricket match in longer form cricket is quite hard for them to work out. So we will be working very hard around mindset and approach, because we don't have time to do technique and volume, because we've got 2, maybe 3 practice sessions. And we played a test match in South Africa in late December. We played some really good cricket in that test match, but we also played some really poor cricket in that test match as well. So that's what you would expect from players who don't play a lot of test cricket.
Are you a fan of women's test cricket?
Yeah, I am. When it's underpinned by domestic cricket, multi-day domestic cricket, I think it's incredibly hard for the players to just front up and play a test match. And the expectation is, as always, they're playing international cricket at the highest level against the best players in the world. The expectation is always to go out and perform and not make any mistakes. Well, that's just not reality. They don't play the game enough to understand how to play it at the levels that are expected of an international cricket team. Right? So there will be a lot of mistakes in the game from both sides. Both sides will make a lot of mistakes because of the volume of Test cricket that we play. What we hope is we're able to really string balls together and do things for longer than the Australians, and which is what generally happens in Test cricket. And the teams that are able to do that then generally come out on top.
Any more in the room? Anyone on the call? Do you have any questions for Jon? Sonia.
Hi Jon, we obviously spoke today and yesterday about the bowling, but how do you sort of explain or analyse the fact that on the 2 occasions England have got their bowling right, in particular looking at the second ODI in this game, that chasing low totals, it's sort of almost is when the worst of the batting has come out?
Well, I wouldn't say 160 is a low total, but like 160 I think was about a par score on that ground. But I would agree that we've played poorly tonight with the bat. We made some poor decisions, and there were some good balls out there, and there was a little bit of bad luck as well at times in terms of Alice obviously got an under edge down the leg side, and then once you lose early wickets in the power play, it's really tricky to come back from that. How do I explain it? I think it's very hard to explain, to be honest with you. I would say that I probably need to go and speak to the players and work out what they were thinking and how they were, what their thought process were and what the options they were trying to take. And then, you know, with a discussion with the player, then you're able to unpick it and then move on. At the moment, obviously, I've just watched from the sidelines, and it's really hard to get inside players' brains at that time. So, you know, we've obviously made some poor choices with the shot selections at times, but I think Heather showed that it was a very battable wicket.